弾ける憧れみんながいるから Hello everyone, it's Leo, and it's time to talk about episode 7 from OTONA PreCure Power of Hope Kibo no Chikara PreCure Full Bloom. So many names. I'm very happy because my queen, Cure Lemonade, is here. I love Urara. She is my favorite from the Yes 5 team. So I'm very happy. I was very excited for this moment. And I love her song. Tobi Kiri. I love it. So I was waiting for this moment for a while. And I felt that Urara so far has been a very lackluster character in Otona, and I feel like this episode made it very clear why. Everything makes sense for her character. There is a lot to talk about, so let's start. But first, before we talk about Urara, which is the one we have the most to talk about, let's talk about Nozomi and Coco. We had so many nice scenes, and one of the best scenes of this episode was Nuts punching Coco in the guts. Baby, Coco deserved that punch. Bah! I loved that moment. Like, Coco was like, I need to go back to American. Bah! In your belly. You deserved it, Coco. You deserve. How can you be so dense and stupid and dumb? You are the dumbest person in this earth. And it was very nice that Nuts was right there to tell him, no, you need to stay here. You need to take care of Nozomi. Why aren't you taking care of Nozomi? And Nozomi doesn't need no one to take care of her. She can take care of her by herself. But when he said that, and when I say this, I feel like he needs to acknowledge Nozomi's feelings more and, pay more attention to what's going on with Nozomi. He is too focused on Palmyra Kingdom. He is too focused on his mission as the king and as in the shadows. But no, there's also Nozomi for you to take care of, for you to think about, for you to pay attention to. And that is what he has to do now. And so we go on to them looking for apartments and Bunby helping them and Kurumi seeing right through because, he had to sell. So for him, that apartment is the best apartment. Oh my God, that scene was everything. And Kurumi was like super worried, but when she saw that Nozomi was the neighbor, she wrote everything down. Kurumi is amazing. I just love her character. She hasn't changed much. She is the perfect adult version of her younger self. Perfect. Nothing changed for her. It's just amazing. What a great character she is. And the things she is telling Coco, the things she's been saying to Coco, and you need to think about your future with Nozomi. You need to talk about your future with Nozomi, and people are calling for Coco to wake up and actually talk to her, because one of the things that has been missing with them was dialogue. And now Coco needs to step up and actually talk to her about things. And he tried to do. But Coco, I feel like for him, it's a very hard thing to dialogue with her, because I don't know if he can actually express his feelings. I don't know if he understands his feelings completely. And I don't think he has actually made a choice as in what will be my priority in the future. I don't think he knows that. So for him, when he told her, I'm sorry that I disappeared and I didn't answer your letters, that I stopped talking to you, it was so mechanical and it didn't feel sincere. He did that because he had to do that, but they didn't have the opportunity to talk because shadows appeared. I hope they are able to actually have an adult conversation about what they're going through and what they went through as well. And I hope that he is able to apologize truly for what he did to her. So now let's focus on Urara. Urara is Angela. She is the main character of a play called Angel from a very renowned director in theaters, and now she is going to be a theater actress. But Nozomi has been known as an idol and also as a singer, so her focus was on singing. But now she is focusing on acting because this is another thing that she would like to do as well. So she got the biggest role of her career, but she was not able to exceed the expectations of the director of the play. So the director gave her a week off, and she has to now just rest. And she was afraid that she would be substituted. And during this period, Shirap went to visit her. It was very cute. Like, this episode was so well crafted. Shirap came to Earth to deliver Coco's things, and at the same time that Urara was having her free week, so he did not only come to Urara, but he was listening to Urara's song, and he was like all shy. I listen to it sometimes, girl. I love that. And so he, since he was already here, he spent the week with Urara, and he is now grown up as well. I'm so sorry. The fashion police is gonna arrest Shirap. Girl, he looks fine. Like, he looks fine, but his costume looks horrible. I'm sorry. This is the biggest fashion crime. It's bigger than Karen's costume as an adult girl. Karen's costume is also horrible, but Shirap takes the crown. The Razzle? What is that? The opposite version of the Oscars. He gets that in terms of costumes. Girl, I'm sorry. And so Shirap starts talking to Urara, and they spend time together. First, they go to the time bar, and Urara is still trying to be the character that she is, Angela, and she is not going to eat because of the way Angela is. I feel like that scene was like, okay, I'm trying to be Angela, but at the same time, it was like, okay, I'm an actress. I need to be thin. I need to diet. So I feel, and at the same time, we had Shirap eating and saying, like, when you were a child, you were completely different. You were a glutton. You loved eating with us, and now you can't. And I feel like, okay, she was trying to be inside the character that she has to be, but at the same time, she was, focused on dieting for the role as well. I don't know if it was a commentary on that, maybe a little criticism on that because that changed later. I don't know. But still, she was focused on being the character. She was trying to be the character. And her focus is now on acting. But when they had to take care of the baby, she was able to show a little bit more of her singing side because her singing calmed the baby down, Yuko's baby. And she was able to showcase a little bit more of her talent. And I love this song, Tobi Kiri. And then when they go out and they start talking, Shirap tells her how much her singing is important and how talented she is, how much he loved her singing. And that scene is like it's a staple in media, but it's also a staple in PreCure. Shirap was standing in the sun, Urara was standing in the shadows, because at that point in the show, Urara was standing in the shadows. One of the characteristics of Urara in this episode was that she was feeling completely, utterly defeated. She did not have the power to take her away from that spot that she put herself in, because she was not being able to succeed as Angela in the rehearsals. The director was hating her persona, her performance, her acting performance as that character, and she was not being able to bounce back. So she was feeling defeated. For her, she was the worst person ever, so she was in the shadows. And then Shirap was there to take her away from the shadows and make her remember something she loved, which is music. And so he starts sharing things about himself that she actually inspired him. So he sings for the flowers so that the flowers can grow. That was very cute. And that's a thing that happens. People like talking to flowers. People like singing to flowers. The flower moms and dads in the world, they say when you talk to flowers and give them love, they will grow better than the ones you don't. I mean, that's a thing that is said. I don't know if it's true, but that happens. And he said that he started singing to the flowers because of Urara and her passion for singing. And he started learning how to play the guitar, but he had a hard time. He still has a hard time. And so, oh my God, Karen's butler went to help them. I just love how connected everything is, and like how things are so sweet in this aspect. In this episode, I felt like I just loved seeing that. It was so cool. And so they started writing a song together, which was Urara's idea, by the way. it was very nice seeing Urara have a little bit more agency outside her training as Angela, because she was needing that. She was needing to take a step away from the character to connect with herself more. And the director knew that. That's why the director gave her a week off. And so they started writing the song and they spent a time doing that. And when they were performing, girl, this show is teasing us so much with Kaoru and Michiru, but they're not showing them to us. Oh my god, that was my favorite part of the episode. When Kaoru and Michiru arrived as Dark Knight Light, but without the cat versions of themselves because they were in the flesh, I was like, okay, this is where we're gonna see them. This is where we're gonna see. They did not show them to us. Just a little bit. Just a preview. And I was screaming at that scene. Like, I was so shocked and excited. I loved that so much. Girl, it was everything. And at that time, I was like, girl, and Urara and Shirup were able to showcase their song to a big audience of people. And they became popular. But at the same time, there were lots of toxic comments on the internet. And I absolutely love that about this episode because we've been seeing how shadows are born. Sometimes the shadows are born from random people that we don't exactly understand. Like last week's episode, in Rouge's episode, we did not really see why the shadows were born. But in this episode, we were able to understand. People were leaving so many nasty comments there. And I loved how the show just left a space in the episode for Kurumi to comment on that thing. Doesn't matter where, what age, that will happen. People will be toxic. People will be trashy on the internet. And, you know, that resonates so well, especially with the PreCure community. Sometimes the PreCure community can be very nasty and toxic. And we've seen that this week, by the way. Oh my God. That was so on time. I just love it. And we have, in my opinion, one of the best build-ups for shadows, which was like the aggressiveness and the toxicness that comes with a cell phone screen and the ability to comment anything you want on a screen like that and bring so many bad feelings towards anything. And that's what happened in this episode. And I just loved how the shadows were born. And when they were there in the park, the shadows were there with them. Shirup was the one to go and try to do something for the shadows. To me, that scene made absolutely no sense. They cannot touch the shadows. So how did the shadows touch and hit Shirup? Like, no sense whatsoever. But it was to show that Shirup was the one that was motivated. Shirup was the one that had the fighting spirit. At that point, Urara did not. She failed as an actress. In her mind, she failed as an actress. So that meant that she was a failure. For her, she was a failure. And at that point, she noticed, okay, I might have failed as an actress, but I still have other things in me. When I was younger, I was able to sing. When I was younger, I was able to bounce back from any bad situation. I had that power in myself. And that happened a lot in Five and Go-Go. She was able to bounce back from many situations. There were some auditions that she failed, and she was able to come back stronger. And she remembered that feeling now. And because of that, she was able to summon the Metamorphosis butterfly and transform into Cure Lemonade. I was so happy to see her again. I was blooming with excitement. She was there, she punched, but then I saw Cure Dream and I was like, girl, why? But then at the end, I think Cure Dream's addition to that scene was good, and I will explain why. But before that, we had kind of like this cyber space for the shadows that were created, and Shirup helped Cure Lemonade get there, and Cure Lemonade got there and fought against the shadows in such a nice way. Animation-wise, it was not the best, even though we had that amazing scene of Urara throwing the hat away and the glasses away to touch the butterfly. That was gorgeous. The fighting scene did not bring us anything like super wow, in terms of animation, but it was still nice to see because Lemonade really had the focus that some of the girls did not have. Cure Aqua, Cure Rouge, I'm so sorry. Girls, you didn't. But Cure Lemonade really had her moment. And we had Prism Chain as well. And so when she got back and looked at Cure Dream, she smiled. And Cure Dream looked at her and said, wow, Cure Lemonade, your smile is back. That's why I feel like her addition to the scene was important. Because Nozomi saw how Urara was sad, how Urara was struggling with her own feelings, with her own defeat. And now she saw that her smile was back, her smile was effervescent again, and that was very good. And so at the end of the episode, we see that Urara is back to training, she is singing, and the director tells her why she chose Urara, because of how brilliant she looked when she was singing. She wanted that in the character. She wanted that aura in Urara's Angela. And Urara was not being able to bring that, but now she is. And then Urara suggests a change in the character, which I feel is a little too idealistic, especially when we have the start of the play very present. Like they don't have much time to change things. So I felt that like, oh, I don't know. I mean, I'm not an actor, so I don't know if that is possible to do. Especially if you're not the director, but still, it was just to show that Urara is now bringing herself and bringing her soul to the character and not only trying to be the character only. She is bringing herself to the stage. She is bringing herself to the scene, and she's bringing her experience and everything else. Girl, very, very cool. What an episode. I just loved this so much. It was great. Dark Knight Light, I want to see you. And this episode ended with Mint or Komachi paying attention to the city. And now in the next episode, she is going to investigate, baby. Next episode, we're going to see Sanae, who is Honoka's grandmother from Futariwa PreCure. Girl, are we going to see Nags and Honoka? What is going on here? I am so curious. What is happening? Anyways, babies, this is my view on episode 7 from Kibo no Chikara, PreCure Fu Bloom, OTONA PreCure. Please leave a comment with yours. Let's keep talking in the comment box below. Anyways, just want to take this little time to thank the members of the Magical Cinema channel. If you are a member, thank you very much for your support. And if you've watched up to now, thanks so much as well. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.